Okay, good afternoon, students. Okay. Let us start with it. Good afternoon, students. So this is our last unit, exceptional handling. Okay. So before learning exceptional handling, let us know what is an error. First of all, let us discuss what is an error. An error is an unexpected problem occurred in the program during execution. See, while we are compiling or executing a program, we'll get some errors. So just if we get errors in the compile time, it is called as syntax error, and if we get the errors at the runtime, it is called as logical errors. Okay, so I think you are familiar with those errors and errors concepts. Yeah. Why we are discussing about these errors is, see, exception is a runtime error. Runtime error, whatever the errors occur at runtime or logically errors are called as an exception. So, an error and an exception both are same. The exception is a runtime error. And any abnormal termination of a program, in a program while executing the program is nothing but an exception. So we can think like this. And so next, max probably the possible exceptions are 1 minute. Okay, ma'am. Let us start the class after 5 minutes only. I hope you are writing this in the previous. Okay, well, can we start the class? Yeah. Okay. So fifth unit is exceptional handling. In this, let us know what is an error. Error is an abnormal termination in the program during its execution time. Okay. See, errors can be of many types, like a syntax error, runtime error, link errors, logical errors, semantic errors. So there are so many types of errors. Okay, so out of those things, we consider these syntax errors and the runtime errors as most important. Okay, so what is a syntax errors? Means if we are writing a program, if there is any missing semicolons or parentheses or printing a value of the variable which is not declared at all. So all these things are syntax errors. And if we come to the logical errors or runtime errors, see logical errors and runtime errors both are different, but we consider here the same. Yeah. Runtime error is nothing but let us take an example like this: any number divisible by zero. If you take any number divisible by zero, if 10 divided by zero, what we will get? It is infinite values. So that is a runtime error. And one more runtime error we can take like this: square root of negative values. If you take the square root of the negative values, then we will get an runtime error. And one more thing is assigning accessing the subscripts of an array beyond the level. So those things are also runtime errors. So this runtime error itself is called as an exception. It is an exception. Okay. So exception definition we can say like this: it is a runtime error, and any abnormal termination occurs in the program while its execution is called as an exception. And the possible exceptions are, you can see here, number divided by zero, and the square root of negative values, or invalid subscript for arrays. Means that if I give like this int a of 10, and if I try to access 11th or 12th value, it is not going to execute. So all these things are exceptions. The errors, runtime errors occur in the program is called as an exception. And handling such errors is called as exceptional handling. Yeah. See, exceptions can be two different types. One is synchronous exception and asynchronous exceptions. Synchronous means whatever the logical errors or syntax error, all these errors occurred in the program is called as synchronous exceptions. And asynchronous exceptions, uh, any errors occurred beyond the control of program. It means that errors occurred in the keyboard interrupts or disk failures, any hackers, all these things which are beyond the control of the program is called as asynchronous exceptions. Okay. So exceptions will be two types, and it's synchronous and asynchronous. Okay. Okay. Exceptional handling. So exceptional handling, it is a process to handle the exceptions. So if exceptions are runtime errors, and to handle those runtime errors is called as exceptional handling. Okay. So if you want to perform an exceptional handling, the exceptional handling mechanism is built upon three keywords. One is try, catch, and throw. So we have three blocks or three statements here, three keywords. Those are try, catch, and throw. So let us see what is try, catch, and throw, all these things. See, try is a keyword, and if you see the syntax here, try consists of open parenthesis and close parenthesis. We are having a throw exception. See, try block consists of the code where an exception may occur. Okay, if we have any doubt in writing the program, if you have any, we will think that there will be some exception occur in that code at a particular point of code. So such data, such code will be placed in this try block. Let us take like this: C equals to A by B, A divided by B, and if A value is 10 and B value is 5. We will get C equals to 2. It is not a problem. But if C equals A by B and B value is 0, any number divisible by 0, then an exception may occur. So such a point of code will be written in, will be placed in try block. Okay. So try block consists of the code where an exception may occur. Voice is breaking. Now is it open? Yeah. So try block consists of the code where an exception may occur. And the next point, throw. Throw is a keyword which here, if an exception is occurred in the try block, let us see the previous if an exception is occurred in the try block, then the throw will send this exception to the catch block. Okay, so throw will handle this exception. How it will handle is, it will catch the exception. Well, let us take C equals to A by B, and B value is 0, a number divisible by 0. So there is a problem in B. That B will be thrown to the catch block. Okay, na? So try block will consist of the code where an exception may occur, and the throw will handle that exception by throwing that exception to the catch block. Okay, so here the catch block, next is catch block. This catch block will take that exception which is thrown by the throw block, and it will handle appropriately. Okay, so we will see in total about try, catch, and throw. See the exceptional handling mechanism. So now here we are having try, throw, and catch block at one place. Let us take like this. In try block, I have written code like C equals to A by B, and the B value is 0. So there is an exception. So exception is at the B position. So now the throw will handle that exception, and it will throw to the catch block. And that catch block will handle that exception. How it is going to handle all those things, you will see in a simple program. See here. Throw is throwing an exception, and if the type of that exception is integer, let us take like this throw exception. That exception is integer means Here in the catch block, the data type should be also integer. If the throw exception is integer and the catch data type is a character, then the program will terminate. Abruptly. Okay, no? So did you understand here? No? In the try block, there will be the code where an exception may occur, and if the exception occurs, the throw handle the exception by throwing that exception to the catch block, and the catch block will handle those data. And whatever the data type, whatever the exception, if the exception is integer type, then the catch should also have integer data type only. If it is the data types are different, then program will terminate automatically. So we will see this thing with an example program so that you will understand. So let us see this program. Write a program using C++ such that raise an exception if divisible by 0 condition occurs. So let us see here. Into main integer a comma b comma c. So we are initializing 3 variables, and we are giving input with the c in as a and b. So we are giving values for a and b. And let us see here try block. Try block if b equals to 0. If b value is 0, then throw an exception. Means b is an exception if the b value consists of 0. Okay. Otherwise, c equals to a divided by b. Okay. So c equals to a divided by b. Let us take like this. If the a value is 10 and the b value is 5, c will get to 2. There won't be any error. But if the b value is 0, any number divisible by 0, there is an exception. So there is a chance of getting an exception if the b is 0. That's why we have kept here, if b equals to 0, throw b. While giving input, if b value is 0, then an exception occurs in the try block, and we are throwing that b. Okay. So now b value is thrown. B consists of 0, right? So it is thrown to the catch block. So catch block will take that value. See, 0 is an integer data type. If we are throwing integer data type in catch block also, there should be integer data type only. Okay? Yeah. Throw 0. The b value consists of 0, right? So throw 0 means catch block will handle the 0, and it will say that it cannot divide it by 0. Okay? It will put a message stating that any number cannot be divided by 0. Okay? So now I think everyone got cleared about this program. Once again, please check this program name. Into main, we are initializing 3 variables a comma b comma c. Out enter a comma b values. And we are giving input for a and b values. In try block, we are putting a condition that if b equals to 0, then throw an exception b. Otherwise, c equals to a by b. If a values and b values both are integer values, if a 10 and b 5, then it doesn't matter. But if the value of b is 0, then an exception occurs. That exception is thrown to the catch block, and the catch block will receive the value of that b, and it will put a message stating that it cannot divide by 0. Okay, so we'll execute the same program. In Dev C++. Let us execute the same program. Yeah. Okay. Let me copy the same code from here. Okay. let us compare. So no errors and no warnings. So execute it, compile and run. Yeah. Let us give like this 10 and 5. A value 10 and B value 5, you will get 2. It is okay. It is okay. Now, if I give A value as 10 and B value as 0, then what happens? Cannot divided by 0. Normally, if you don't write any exception, what you will get? If you don't write any exception, what you will get? Program will get terminated. Program will get terminated, or it will enter into a loop, infinite loop conditions. Right? Yeah. Understood? Is it clear now? Yeah. Okay. So, now let us go to the back once again. Right? Let us check once again what is an error. Error is an unexpected problem or abnormal termination of the program, and types of errors, compile time and runtime errors. So what is an exception? Exception is a runtime error. Okay. So these exceptions can be possible exceptions in the program will be 3 only, like this. But there are so many things, but possibly we will come across these 3 things. Number divided by 0, square root of negative value and invalid subscription for the errors. Okay. And types of an exception is synchronous exceptions and asynchronous. Synchronous is nothing but any logical error or syntax error. Whatever the error we get through program is called asynchronous. And asynchronous exceptions, these are beyond the control of the program. It means that any exception occurs through keyboard interrupts, hard disk failure, or hardware malfunctions, and all those things. And after that, exceptional handling. So, process of handling the exceptions, runtime errors is called as an exceptional handling, and this is done by using try, catch, and throw. So, what does a try consist of? A try consists of the code. It is a keyword, and it consists of the code where an exception may occur. And this try block may consist of one or more catch blocks also. See, in this try, there may be n number of exceptions. We can place n number of exceptions. And for each exception, we will have catch blocks. If there is one exception in the try block, we will have one catch. If there are 2 exceptions in the try block, then there will be 2 catch blocks. Okay. Next, throw. What throw will do is, throw keyword will do is, if an exception occurs in the try block, then throw will handle that exception and it will send that exception to the catch block. See here, throwing an exception can be done by 3 ways in C++. Throw space exception. The exception can be either integer, float, or character, whatever it is. Or throw off exception. We can put in the parentheses also. Or we can directly use a keyword called as throw also. So throw means exception will be thrown. Yeah. And the catch block. Catch block will handle that exception thrown by the throw statements, and appropriate action will be taken. Okay. Next. So this is the mechanism, exceptional handling mechanism: try, throw, and catch. Try, throw, and catch. Okay. And if the exception is integer data type, and in the catch also the data type should be the same integer only. If it is other data type, then a program terminates. Okay, so this is the example we have seen right now. Okay, I think it is okay. So let us enter into the next topic, multiple catch blocks. Multiple catch blocks. See, we have seen only one catch block, one try block and one catch block. So a single try block can have multiple catch blocks. In a try block, if there are 3 exceptions, then we will have 3 catch blocks. Okay. And the execution of that particular catch box depend on the type of exception thrown by the throw keyword. So we will see these things also in the next program. If throw keyword send exception of integer type, then catch block with integer parameter will get executed. So let us see these things in the example. Right? Let us see this one. Am I too fast now? Is it okay, or should I go slow? Anyone please respond. Okay. So multiple catch boxes. Let us see here. In the main, we are initializing one declaring one variable int n, and see out enter the value 1 or 2 or 3. Okay. Seeing we are inputting one value for n. Okay. So input for n. Now try. If n equals to 1, whatever the input we are giving for n, if it is 1, then an exception arises. Throw 10. Exception arises like this. Exception is 10 here. Okay. If n equals to 2, if I give 2 value to this n, then throw 20.25. And if the n value is 3, throw a, which is a character data. So see here, in try block we are having three exceptions. The first exception is throw 10, which is of integer data type, and the second exception is throw 20.25, which is a double exception, double data type. And the third one is throw a. A is a character data type. Okay, so in the try block we are having 3 exceptions: 10, 20.25, and 8. Okay? So see here in the catch block, what it is which exception is handled first? Throw 10. Why? Because throw 10 is the integer data type. Whatever we are defining in the catch block, the data type, whatever we are defining, if it is integer data type, then the exception which is of integer data type will be handled here. So catch int I, so now I value will be 10, because integer value is 10 only. What it will display is catch integer exception. If next, if you see the next one, catch double D. So if the data type is double, let us see, we have a throw 20.25. 20.25 is a double value, so the 20.25 is stored in D. Okay, and next, catch C, character value. So character value is A, and A is stored in character C, and it will display message accordingly. Okay? So please go through the code once again. Please go through the code once again and see. Let us execute the same in C++. Let's have one more. Exception. Okay. So let me compile this one. Yeah, no errors. Let us execute it. So if I enter 1, catch integer exception 10, means the first one is integer data type, and if you try to enter one more, let me enter 2. What is the 2 here? 2 is double, so 20.25. Second exception. Okay? Let us go with the third one. Let's go with the third one. It is character data type. Okay? So please go through this code once again. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay. So in exceptional handling, one try block may consist of relational operations in catch handlings. Relational operations means, well, let us check in the program itself. Balaji Ganesh has asked a question. Sir, can we use relational operations in catch handlings? So what is the data type for relational operations? What will be the data type for relational operations? Is it character? Let me take like this. I'll put less than symbol. You said relational operations, right? Can you put this one? Let me save it. Save it. Compile it. And execute it. In the third one, right? Yeah. Relational operations also we can use. Anything it can be character data type itself. Is it clear? Any doubts you can ask me. Multiple exceptions of same data type. Yeah. Okay. Multiple exceptions of same data type, then order will be there. Order will be there. The first one, if let me take like this, n equals to 1, throw 10. See, in this, put like this. So here, throw 10 is of integer data type and throw 20 is also integer data type. And let us put like this here, into b. Okay. So is it clear, sir? Is it clear? The first throw is 10, which is of integer data type, and the second throw is of 20, which is also of integer data type. But whatever the variables we are declaring in the catch, the first catch is int of I, and the next one is int of d. So two different variables are storing two different values. So it is going to work like that. Let me see. If it is 1, it is showing 10. Okay. If it is true, it is showing okay. Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. But and the first one, according to the priority, it will get executed. The first integer will get executed first, and the second integer will get executed in the second. It is possible. Through two values at a time. Yes, we can throw. We can throw, but we'll see in the later class. Why? Because here we have given only one class, one variable. Okay, no problem. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it, and I will explain that in the later on session in the session. Okay? It is one more concept, and that I will see. It is possible, but whatever the question Fasmi or Sahar has asked, it is a valid question. We can throw two exceptions at a time. Okay? So, we move to the next one. Shall we move to the next? Options here. 10 and A. Let me take like this. I am not using this. I have done this. I'll explain directly. The thing is, except not catch block. Except blocks. There are three exceptions in the diagram, and in the catch block, we are using only one catch block, and we are leaving two more catch blocks as it is. So what happens? What happens? Going to execute. We will see here. We will see in the code itself directly. So let me take like this. I have three exceptions here. Three exceptions. But I am not. I am writing only one exception. One catch block. I am not writing three catch blocks. Okay. Program consists of three single catch blocks. Let me execute this one. There is no error, so it won't know any. It is okay to execute. But if I type 2, what happens? Terminate called after throwing an instance of double. Why? Because there is no catch block for the second exception. I don't know here the second exception 20.35. I don't know whether it is a double or float or any data type. I don't know the data types of all those. How to handle such type of exceptions are handled at a time by using three dots here. See here. In the syntax catch, there are three dots in the catch block. Correct? So, except root text. Sometimes it is not possible to anticipate all possible types of exceptions and to design catch handlers to catch. So, if there are hundreds of exceptions in one try block, I do not write 100 catch blocks directly, right? So, which catch block is handling the other catch blocks? It is not possible to trace out those things also. So what we'll do is we'll write a single catch block to execute all the exceptions by using the three dots in the catch. Okay, so please watch the syntax. Catch of three dots. It's a single catch block for handling all exceptions. Let us see an example for this. Yeah. Catching all exceptions. Okay. So the same program, previously the same program, we are initializing, we are declaring a variable int n, and cout of enter the values 1, 2, and 3. We are giving input for n value, try block. In try block, if n equals to 1, we are throwing an exception, integer exception, that is 10, throw 10. And the second exception is double error type, which is of 20.25. And the third exception is a, n equals 3, throw a is a character data type. So to handle these three exceptions, throw 10, throw 20.25, throw a, I am writing a single catch block, that is catch of three dots inside the parentheses. Okay? So how to catch all exceptions is by using catch blocks with three dots. Okay. Let us execute the same. Execute the same. Am I too fast? Am I too fast? Yeah. Only 2 persons are answering the chat boxes. Kamsiya is 1 person. No, okay. Venkat Mahesh, right? Is okay. What about other students? If I am fast, please mention here itself and this one. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. So let us do this catch all exceptions. Let me open the next file. Source, paste. As we are in the end of the course, I'm going a little bit faster. So you are familiar now. Compiling F9, execute F11. So, put 1, catch all exceptions. It is working, right? Code is working. So this line is working. Catching all exceptions at a single catch block. Executing all exceptions. Okay? Okay? Is it okay? Yeah, okay. Okay? Let's revise, this is the end of the ECQs. See, there may be all programs only, and let me say how the program we have given. So which catch block is executing first and which one is executing next, and when an exception occurs, how it is going to catch block. Simple program. So let us revise once again from the starting onwards. Okay. So errors we have studied a lot of times, enough times. Error is an abnormal termination in the program. Types of errors: compile time error and runtime errors. Compile time errors are nothing but syntax errors which occur at the compiling time, and runtime is logical errors. See, logical logical errors also, there are two different types of logical errors. From addition of two numbers, c equals to a plus b, what I have written is c equals to a minus b I have written. What I want the output is addition of two numbers, but what I got the output is subtraction of two numbers. Is it a logical error or not? Is it a logical error? Okay, I will repeat the question once again. I want to perform addition of two numbers, c equals to a plus b, but syntax error. Syntactically, in the place of plus, I have put a minus. So I got subtraction of two numbers. What I want is addition of two numbers, but what I got is subtraction of two numbers. Is it a logical error or syntax error? Shall I ask? Okay. Is it runtime also? Is it runtime error? But such type of logical errors are not exceptions. What is an exception is an abnormal termination will occur. A termination of the program will occur. Such type of errors are called as exceptions. Okay, so we cannot say that all logical errors are exceptions. What is an exception is if there is an abnormal termination, c equals to a by b, a is 10 and b is 0, any number divisible by 0, then it will enter into an infinite loop, and or there will be an abnormal termination of the program, and the next line or next code will not be executed. So such type of errors are called as exceptions. All logical errors are not exceptions. Okay, I want to convey that to you. Yeah. Next is so exception is a runtime error such that, and I have written the second definition also. It is a runtime anomaly or abnormal condition occurs during the execution of program that disturbs the program flow of control. Okay? Abnormal termination will occur. That is called as an exception. The possible things are three only. Number divided by 0 and the square root of negative value and invalid substitute for x. These are the three errors, possible exceptions. Types of exceptions, we have seen synchronous exception, asynchronous exceptions. Synchronous is nothing but logical syntax and all errors which occur in the program is synchronous. Beyond the control of program is called as asynchronous, which means hard disk failure and all those things. It does not depends on the program. Asynchronous exceptions does not depend on the program at all. Because this is disk failure, hard disk failure, keyboard interruption, all these things are physical failures. Yeah. It's exceptional handling. Handling runtime errors is called as exceptional handling, and this is done by using try, catch, and throw. Try block. In try block, the possible exceptions code will be placed here. So try block consists of the code where an exception may occur. If an exception occurs here, then that exception is handled by the throw block, and this throw will send this exception to the catch block. Correct? And it will send to the catch block, and the catch block will handle that exception, and the appropriate action will be taken. So message will be displayed. Okay? So this is about try, catch, throw. And we have seen one program number divisible by 0. If we have a number divisible by 0, then we will get a message can't divide by 0 in this example. Multiple catch blocks. See, for a single try block, in a single try block, there can be 2 or more exceptions. Okay, such that for a single try block, whatever the number of exceptions present in the try block, for each exception there will be a catch block. Okay. And we should also make sure that whatever the data type we are going through exception, the same data type should be there in the catch. Okay, so this is an example for multiple catch blocks. So in a try block, we are having three exceptions: 10, 20.25, and 8, three different data types. So we have written all three catch blocks here: integer with the catch block with the integer, double, and character. And each exception is handled separately here. But if you want to handle 100 of exceptions in the try block at a time, then we'll go with the catch all exceptions. The catch all exceptions is handled through catch block with the three dots in the parentheses. So no need of writing all catch blocks for all the try blocks. Okay? So whatever in try block, if there are 100 of throws also, exceptions also, we will write only single catch here. That is the main motto here. Okay? Next. Right now. Shall I start MCQs? Yeah. So everybody is ready. Yeah. Easy started.